The elevator that never stops. The first ride. It was past midnight when Leah Torres first saw the elevator. She had worked late again, hunched over endless spreadsheets in her company's glass tower downtown. Most nights she was the last to leave, weaving through silent cubicles and shutting off the lights floor by floor. The elevators usually sat waiting on the ground level when she finally made her way down. But that night, one of them, the far left car, was already open. She didn't remember pressing the button. The others were dark, their digital numbers glowing faintly. But the far left elevator stood there with its doors spread wide, golden light spilling out like an invitation. Leah hesitated. Something about it felt wrong. The building was nearly empty. Maintenance had left hours ago. Yet here was an elevator, humming softly, waiting just for her. She shook off the unease and stepped inside. The panel looked normal at first glance. A vertical column of floor buttons, a glowing emergency stop, the alarm bell. But when she leaned closer, she noticed something strange. Beneath the usual numbers, 1 through 40, there was an extra button, unmarked. Its surface was black and smooth like glass with no engraving. She frowned. She'd taken these elevators hundreds of times. That button had never been there. Her finger hovered just for a moment. Then she pressed one for the lobby. The doors slid shut. The car shuddered, descended. But the screen above the doors didn't display a number. Instead, it flickered. Symbols appeared, shapes that didn't belong to any language she knew. Her stomach tightened. The hum of the machinery grew louder, deeper, like a growl in the walls. When the doors opened, she expected the lobby. Instead, a long, dim corridor stretched out before her. The walls were concrete, damp and cracked. Faint water dripped somewhere far off, echoing into the distance. There were no exit signs, no familiar marble floors. This wasn't her building. Leah's breath caught. The panel behind her flickered again. Every floor number was gone, replaced by the same unmarked black square. Just one choice now. She backed into the elevator, heart hammering. "Lobby," she whispered, pressing the alarm bell. Nothing. The elevator doors closed again, and the descent continued. The wrong floor. The hum of the machinery deepened as the elevator sank lower, far lower than the 40 floors of her office tower. The air grew heavy, stale, tinged with something metallic that clung to the back of her throat. Leah pressed the emergency stop button again and again, her finger jamming into the plastic until her nail bent painfully. Nothing happened. The car didn't slow. It didn't care. The panel lights flickered once more. The screen above the doors glowed faintly, but instead of numbers or symbols, it now displayed a single word: below. Leah's chest tightened. Her breath came in shallow gasps. She told herself it had to be a malfunction, a glitch in the system. But deep down, she knew better. Elevators didn't invent extra buttons. They didn't create floors that shouldn't exist. The car jolted, then slowed. The doors creaked open with a groan that echoed like something alive. Leah's knees nearly gave out when she saw what lay beyond. It was another corridor, but not the same as before. This one was narrower, the walls lined with doors. Each door was different wood, different handles, some old and rotting, others freshly painted. They looked like they'd been taken from different houses, different buildings, different times, and placed here side by side. Some had numbers, some had names etched into their surfaces, others had nothing at all. Leah leaned forward, heart hammering, squinting at the nearest door. It was painted bright red, the number 27 scrawled across it in black marker. From behind it came a faint sound, a scratching, like fingernails dragging along wood. Her throat went dry. The next door was cracked open just an inch. Warm light spilled through, along with the faint murmur of voices. She almost called out. Almost. But something in her gut warned her not to. The voices didn't sound right. Their rhythm was strange, like words spoken backward then played forward again. She stumbled back into the elevator. Her hand hovered over the black, unmarked button. It was the only option now. Before she could press it, the lights overhead flickered violently, and for just a heartbeat, she saw her reflection in the mirrored doors opposite her. Only, it wasn't quite her. Her reflection was smiling, wide, too wide. The lights steadied. The reflection returned to normal. Her pulse roared in her ears. Leia slammed the black button. The doors clamped shut, cutting off the corridor of impossible doors. The descent began again. The hum grew louder, vibrating through her bones. The temperature dropped sharply. Her breath fogged in the stale air. The walls of the elevator groaned like they were under pressure, metal bending against something unseen. The panel flickered. This time, the word was different. Under! Leia hugged her arms around herself, teeth chattering. The elevator jerked, stopped. The doors slid open. Her stomach turned as she peered out. This wasn't a hallway, it was a cavern. The elevator opened into a vast underground space, lit dimly by an unseen source. Jagged rock walls stretched upward into shadows. The floor was uneven, damp, covered in shallow puddles that reflected the dull light. And there were others. Dozens of people stood scattered across the cavern floor, some huddled together, whispering. Others wandered aimlessly, eyes blank, movements mechanical. A few just stared at the elevator, as though they had been waiting. Leia's breath caught. They weren't dressed like office workers, or even like people from her time. Their clothes were mismatched, belonging to different eras. Old suits from the 1950s, ragged dresses from the 1800s, torn hoodies from the 2000s. Some looked decades old, others fresh, like they had just stepped out of the world she knew. A man with sunken eyes and a frayed business tie stumbled toward her. His skin was gray, his lips cracked, but his voice rasped with urgency. "Don't get out," he croaked, clutching the door frame. "Don't step off. Once you step out, it won't let you back in." Leia froze. What is this place? His eyes darted to the black button on her panel. The elevator chooses. It doesn't stop. It never stops. Before she could reply, something deeper in the cavern stirred. A low rumble, like stone shifting against stone. The scattered people fell silent. Heads turned toward the shadows. Leia's skin prickled. Something was coming. The man's grip tightened painfully on her arm. "Go! Now. Before it sees you." Her hand shot to the black button. She slammed it, heart pounding. The doors closed just as the rumble grew louder, closer. She didn't want to know what was stepping out of the shadows. The car shuddered violently, nearly throwing her to the floor. The descent resumed, faster this time, as though fleeing. The panel flickered again. This time, the word was worse. "Deeper." Leia pressed her palms over her face, rocking slightly, fighting the panic clawing at her chest. She wanted to wake up. She wanted this to be a nightmare. But the hum kept growing louder. The walls shook. The lights buzzed overhead. And still, the elevator sank.